CII Radio, the pulse of the Ummah.
Well, you know, people, when I was growing up, there was this Maya the bee. Hey, I used to just watch Maya the bee all the time, looking at Maya the bee. But we have Christy Payne. She's the bee lady, Christy Payne. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us on the platforms of CII Radio.
Good morning. Thanks again for having me. Happy New Year to you.
Hey, to you too, Christy. And what the bee said for 2023, what's the outlook? What have they been buzzing into your ear?
Well, hopefully the bees will be busy. We've had a very rainy December, so they've all been cooped up in their hives. But now that the sun is out again, they're working really hard, hey?
Hey, I was missing them. Now you gave me the answer. Sir. Bees, where art thou? And they're not coming. I thought someone, hey, they took my bees away, but now you gave me good news. They'll be coming and visiting me soon. Well, I'm looking at the questions coming for you. It says, good morning to the breeze. My question to the bee lady, Christy. What are the bushveld bees and how is their honey? Fiona Buckus. Hey, they want to know, Christy.
Yes, so Fiona, actually, Bushveld Bees is my company. And my husband and I both used to live on game reserves. And our first ever commercial hives were delivered to a game farm, Leopard Mountain, in fact, up in the North Coast, as a conservation project. So, yes, that's where our name came from. It's not actually a specific type of bee. And then our honeys that we produce are harvested all over KZN from various sites and what have you. So we've got lots of variety of different tastes and flavors of honey, and we're very proud to say that our honey has won awards in both national and local competitions for 3 years running. So we have a very high quality of honey, as said by the professionals. So that's basically where Bushveld Bees name comes from, and look for our honeys on shelves near your homes.
Christy, this is on a lighter note. Can't you get your bees to make something like chili honey? You know, like a fusion taste, sweet and sour. Can you make a plan, Christy?
We can try. Hey? We put our hives near where we want them to make a certain type of honey. And then we've got to wait and see what they deliver us.
I tell you, it'll be a winner. Chili honey, people. Hey, everyone will buy it. This question here says, Assalamu alaikum, organic breeds. I enjoy the honey program. Is it true that bees die after stinging a person? And why is that? Thanks so much, Anisa from MSM Toti. Christy?
Yes, it is unfortunately true. What happens is when a bee stings us, their sting has got very tiny barbs on it, which hook inside our skin. And as the bee moves away from stinging us, they actually leave behind a part of their body, which is a part of the abdomen stays behind, which has got the venom. It's the venom sac, and that continues pumping venom into our bodies. So unfortunately, the bee cannot survive with a part of their body missing, and that's why they unfortunately die. It's very important if you are stung by a bee to use a sharp object to scrape that sac out of your arm or wherever you've been stung, because if we leave that sac present, it continues to pump venom into our bodies, and then we end up with a much more extreme reaction to that bee sting.
Hi, Mrs. Payne. Payne, yeah? Should every house in a residential area keep a beehive? Or how many hives will be enough per residential area? Thank you, Marsha Govender.
Well, Marsha, that's a very good question. Whilst we are trying to encourage more and more people to have beehives, it's more important to make sure that there's enough food supply available for bees. So if people are wanting to conserve bees, I'd always recommend the best way to do it is not actually to keep a beehive, but rather plant plants that can help sustain bees. So plant bee-friendly plants. If you want to keep a beehive in your residential area, there are a few things that need to be considered, such as the municipal bylaws of your particular area as to whether or not you are actually allowed to keep bees in a residential area, keeping in mind that they are dangerous. If the hive is not managed properly and regularly, that hive can become a problem. And while we're on the topic of that, people often phone us and keep sort of wild bee swarms that have moved into areas in their garden or in their home. They want to keep them wild, and that is extremely dangerous. That's often where we end up having bee attacks and things like that. So we do cover all of these bylaws and things like that in the courses that we offer on bees, and we actually offer courses across KZN in various sites. So if people are interested in learning more about bees or keeping bees in their yards, they should contact us and join one of our courses so that they can learn more and then see if it is a viable option for their area.
Absolutely. And this question, Assalamu alaikum, organic team. My query for the beekeeper, Christy, I heard bees don't like the smell of cut grass. What effect does it have on them? And how can we avoid distressing bees when we cut our grass? Good question.
Yes, a very, very good question. We have this question quite often, actually. So basically what happens is when grass is cut, it releases tannins, which, that's the smell of cut grass that we have. Similarly, any trees or vegetation that's being cut, and also the turning of soil, all these things trigger something primitive in bees, which it basically tells them that their food source is being destroyed. And so that's why bees will often sting someone when they have that smell of cut grass. Even compost can agitate the bees. And so normally if people have beehives near them, what I would recommend is, when you're cutting your grass, do it early in the morning before it gets too hot. Because the tannins are released more vigorously in the heat of the day. And also the bees are a little bit more lethargic, let's say, early in the morning when it's still a bit cooler. Also, later in the afternoon is a better option. That's the best way to keep from agitating bees when you need to cut your grass.
Thanks for that. Assalamu alaikum, Shafat and team. Breeze, we are thinking of setting up a backyard beehive. What are the dangers, and will the bees attack cats and dogs? I look forward to Christie's views. Thanks, Rehana. How do you respond to Rehana?
Well, Rihanna, I'm excited to hear you want to keep bees. That's really wonderful. What I would suggest is before anyone take on any type of beekeeping, they need to make sure that they know what they're doing. An unmaintained hive, as I said before, is a very dangerous hive. So I would say we often consult with people, go to their yards, see if they can actually house a beehive safely. So get in touch with me, Rihanna, and I can definitely help you to set up a beehive in your garden if you want. We also offer services where we can help you maintain that hive if you're not confident enough to do it yourself. So I think if anyone would like to contact us, they can contact us via our website, which is www.bushveldbees.co.za. Alternatively, they can just email me, info@bushveldbees.co.za, and we can help them to give them some information if they'd like, or even give them dates and venues for our beekeeping courses.
I tell you, Christy, I believe that you'll have in your next interview with us a chili honey fusion.
Well, I'll tell you what. What is very interesting is that you can infuse honeys with various things. It's just you've got to be very careful about it because you don't want to lose the goodness of the honey. And often when people are infusing different flavors and things like that into the honey, they have to heat the honey, and that's where we lose all the goodness of honey. So I always say to people, if you're wanting to make a chili honey, perhaps do it yourself at home so that you know that your honey isn't being compromised when doing it.
Okay, we will try that soon. Christy, you have a beautiful, lovely day ahead. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, I look forward to it. Thank you so much for having me, and have a wonderful day. Be happy.
Yes, we will be happy, Christy. And yes, a brilliant input from Christy this morning. And hey, be careful of those bees and take good care of them. Good care of the bees.
CII Radio, embracing Africa one city at a time.
All things